Good morning. This is Sujata, Assistant Professor of Botany, Government Degree College, Women's, Karimnagar. Today, I am going to give a lecture on genetic interactions. So, the father of genetics, Mendel, and his assistants, when they did experiments on pea plant, that is Pisum sativum, in monohybridization and dihybridization, then they got the ratios in monohybridization, that is 3:1, the phenotypic ratio, and in dihybrid ratio they got the 9:3:3:1. So by their experiments, Mendel and his assistants, by their experiments, they understood that one factor is responsible for every character. That each gene will have two alleles. In these two alleles, one will show complete dominance on other allele. So they got these ratios. So they thought that one gene, it determined the one character. So after experiments of pea plant, that is monohybridization and dihybridization, they got the phenotypic ratios 3:1, 9:3:3:1. So they thought that there are two alleles are there, one is dominant and another one is recessive. But after Mendel, some scientists, when they did experiments, they did not get the same results whatever Mendel got. So their ratios are differed from Mendel ratios. Then these scientists, after Mendel, these scientists, they came to the conclusion that one gene will not determine only one character. One gene will not determine only one character. So at the same time, some genes without showing complete dominance, they interact with each other and produce a new phenotype, which were not present in earlier, that is in parent. For some characters, the F2 phenotype ratio do not tally with Mendel's. After Mendel, some scientists, when they did experiments, their ratios do not tally with Mendel experiment ratios. So in that Mendel experiment ratios, that is F2 phenotype ratio, that is in the monohybridization, then he got the Mendel 3:1. But when these scientists after Mendel, when they did experiments, they got the phenotypic ratio is 1:2, 2:1 instead of Mendel's 3:1. And the dihybrid ratio also, Mendel got 9:3:3:1. But this ratio also modified in the experiments of these scientists. But there is no change in the segregation of the characters as proposed by the Mendel. So the reason for the modified Mendelian ratios may be due to the more than one pair of genes or alleles are responsible for some characters. Not only one gene for one character, more than one pair of genes are responsible for some character. So this is the reason for the modified ratios of these experiments. So then they identify that the genes that interact in the determination of particular biological property. So here one gene is for one character, it is not correct according to Mendel. So there are more than one pair of genes, they are responsible for some characters. So there is an interaction. There is a interaction between these genes. So this is called the genetic interaction. So here the genetic interaction is the set of functional association between genes. There is a reaction between the genes. The two interacting genes produced modified dihybrid ratios. When the interaction taking place between these genes, they produce the modified, which modified Mendelian ratios. Those are modified in dihybrid ratios. So there are various types of the interactions and they lead to a range of different modifications. Due to these interactions, there are modifications are there in phenotypic ratios and also in the next F1 generation. So the main gene interactions are classified into two categories. Those are, one is intra-allelic interaction or allelic interaction. Intra-allelic interaction or allelic interaction, and second one is the non-allelic interaction or intergenic interaction. So these are the two types of the gene interaction. So first we see about the intra-allelic interaction. So what is intra-allelic interaction? So here the allelic interaction takes place between allele of same gene. Every gene has two allele. So here the interaction takes place between allele of same gene, which are not present at the same locus. These genes are not present at the same locus. So here the allelic interaction means interaction between the alleles of same gene. So we can explain these allelic interaction with examples. It is two types. That is incomplete dominance and codominance. So we can explain the allelic interaction with these two examples. So first you see the incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance means according to Mendel laws, there are two alleles are there. One allele is dominant and another is recessive character. So in the F1 generation compulsory, which character comes? Dominant character only expressed in F1 generation according to Mendel law. But here, due to the incomplete dominance, in F1 generation is different from the both parents. In this incomplete dominance, the F1 generation, it is different from the both parents. So we see the example incomplete dominance, that is the plant Mirabilis jalapa. Mirabilis jalapa, that is we call 4 o'clock plant. So the incomplete dominance first discovered in this plant only. So this Mirabilis jalapa or 4 o'clock plant. So in this plant, there are 3 different types of plants are found in this Mirabilis jalapa, depending on the color of the flower. So some are red color, some are white, and some are pink. So when we cross between the red with white, so actually according to Mendel, in F1 generation we can get red or white, which is dominant. But due to the incomplete dominance, when we cross between the red and white, in F1 generation, pink color obtained. That is, it is not present in the both parents. It is new color. So here the genes of red color is incompletely dominant. Actually, according to Mendel, red color we had to get, but the red is not completely expressing. It is incompletely expressing. See here, two parents are there. One is red color, that is genotype is capital R, and white is small r, smaller. When we do the cross between these two, F1 generation pink we got. So the pink is not present in both parents. Only red and white are the parents. So it is incomplete dominance because here red is not expressing full. only it is partially expressing. That's why in F1 generation they got the pink color. So when they self these pink color plants, when selfing, then in F2 generation we got the 1:2:1 ratio phenotype. That is, one is red color flower and two are the pink and one is the white. So this is the phenotype. Mendel's phenotype monohybridization, what is the phenotype ratio is 3:1. But here we got the ratio 1:2:1. So here the incomplete dominance taking place by this. Here the red color is not expressing totally, only partially expressing. That's why in F1 generation we got the pink color. When we selfing the pink, then we got in the second, that is F2 generation, red, pink, white in 1:2:1 ratio. So here the Mendel's monohybrid ratio is modified from 3:1 to 1:2:1. And the second example for allelic interaction is codominance. Second one is the codominance. Here, what is the codominance? Both genes expressed for a particular character. Here, in this phenomena, both genes expressed for a particular character in F1 hybrid. So there is no blending of characters. There is no blending of characters. So both characters which are present in the parent, both expressed equally in F1 generation. So codominance we can see example, that is in animal coat color. Animal coat color. When they cross the two animals, that is one is consisting the coat color black and second one is consisting of white color. When they cross between these two, so one is the parent black, one is parent white. But in F1 generation they got the round. That is two colors, black and white hairs, on the black white hairs. Both colors are expressed in F1 generation. That is codominance. Both are showing dominance, expressing dominance. So when they selfing these F1 plant, they got in the F2 generation 1:2:1 ratio. That is black one, brown two, and white one. 1:2:1 ratio. Instead of 3:1 ratio of Mendel monohybrid ratio. So this is codominance. That is the both parent characters are coming to the F1 generation. So these two, that is the incomplete dominance and codominance. These two are the examples for the allelic interaction. Allelic interaction. And second one is non-allelic interaction, or we can call this intergenic interaction. Intergenic interaction. So what is non-allelic interaction? When interaction takes place between non-allele, so it is called as non-allelic gene interaction. Okay. So it modifies other non-allelic gene. So in this expression of character, depends on interaction of more than one or more gene. Here one character, the expression of one character depends not only one, it depends more than one or more genes. The expression of one character depends on one or more genes and their cooperation. Then only the character expresses. So these non-allelic interactions are the following types. Of course, there are some more, but in our syllabus, these four are present. That is dominant epistasis interaction, recessive epistasis interaction, complementary gene interaction, and inhibitory gene interaction. Supplementary and recessive are both same. So when you see the first one, dominant, that is first we learn about what is epistasis. What is epistasis? When a gene prevents the expression of another non-allelic gene, then it is known as epistatic gene, and that process is called as epistasis. Thus, that process is called epistasis. epistasis. So here a gene, what is doing? It is preventing the expression of another non-allelic gene. One gene is preventing the expression of another gene. So here which gene which is preventing, that gene is called epistatic gene. And that gene which is not expressing, that is hypostatic gene. And this phenomena is called as epistasis. This phenomena called as epistasis. So this epistasis is two types: dominant epistasis and recessive epistasis. So first we see about the dominant epistasis. So here what happens when dominant allele of one gene masks the expression of alleles of another gene. Here one allele is masking, preventing the expression of another allele of gene. So this is dominant. So there are alleles are there. Every gene has the alleles. So alleles in that one is dominant, one is recessive. So here one allele of one gene is, what is it doing? It is masking. It is masking the expression of another allele of another gene. Okay. So to explain this dominant epistasis, we see the example, that is fruit color in summer squash. Fruit color in summer squash, that is Cucurbita pepo. The scientific name of summer squash is the Cucurbita pepo. So this Cucurbita pepo, this plant, this Cucurbita pepo, it produces three types of fruits. This plant, it produces three types of fruits. Some fruits are white, some are yellow, some are green. So these three types of fruits are present in Cucurbita pepo. So scientists, in these three types, that is white, yellow, green, in this white is dominant over yellow and yellow is dominant over green. So white is dominant over yellow and green, and yellow is dominant over green. So green is recessive. Green is recessive, both white and yellow. Okay. So yellow is dominant on green and green is dominant on, sorry, yellow. Yellow is dominant, white is dominant on yellow. White is dominant over yellow. Yellow is dominant over green. So green is recessive. Green is recessive. So here you observe this image, that is here scientists, they cross the between two plants of Cucurbita pepo. One is consisting the white fruits and second is one is consisting the green fruits. When they cross between these two, white here is the dominant, green is the recessive. When they conduct the cross between these two, in F1 generation, what they got? White, because white is dominant. So in the first generation, they got the white fruits. So when they selfing this white, then we got these gametes. The male gametes are four types. Here left side is the female gametes. So when the fusion takes place between these, we can get these 16 phenotypic the plants. In this, in the second generation, how many white we got? 12. 12 white plant, white fruit consisting plants we get 12. And 3 are yellow and 1 is green. So this is the here the second generation. Which ratio we got? 12:3:1. 12:3:1. So here the white is the dominant. The white is the dominant color. So it is masking the expression of yellow color, yellow and green color. So here the white dominant. So it is the dominant epistasis. Dominant epistasis. Here white is acting as dominant. It is masking the expression of yellow and green. That's why in second generation, then F2 generation, we got the 12 white and 3 yellow and 1 is green. 12:3:1 ratio. 12:3:1 ratio we got in F2 generation. In F1 generation, only all white fruits because white is dominant. But when F1 was self-fertilized, then we got the white, yellow, green. In which ratio? 12:3:1 ratio we got. So why we got this type of ratio? Because of epistatic interaction between two different genes. Here the Mendel-Dihybrid ratio is modified. Mendel-Dihybrid ratio is, what is the dihybrid phenotypic ratio? 9:3:3:1. But here we got 12:3:1 ratio we got here. So this is the dominant epistasis. And second one is the recessive epistasis. Second one is the recessive epistasis. So recessive epistasis are another, we call this supplementary gene also. This we call supplementary gene also. Here a pair of gene change the effect of another non-allelic gene. It is called the recessive. Or when the recessive allele of one gene masks the effect of either allele of the second gene, it is reversed to dominant epistasis. In dominant, the dominant gene masks the expression of the recessive. Here the recessive allele of one gene, it masks the effect of dominant effect of another allele of the second gene. So here recessive epistasis means the recessive allele of one gene masks the effect of allele of the second gene. So this we can explain with the example, that is coat color in mice. Coat color in mice. So in mice, the wild type body color is agouti. The wild color is agouti. So agouti, that is the body hair is black and tip of the hair is yellow bands. So the wild type mice, the color is agouti. Agouti means what? Which color? It consists in the body color, that is black hair. It consists in the body black hair with yellow bands. At the tip of the hair, it consists in the yellow bands. That is black hair with the yellow bands. That is agouti color. It is wild type in this mice. In domesticated mice, this agouti is, this is wild color, wild type. But domesticated mice, the agouti color, it got modified. It got modified into two forms. In which two forms? One is albino. Albino means colorless. So it is recessive. And next one is the black color. Next one is the black color. So black is dominant to albino. Agouti is dominant to black. So albino is here, that is colorless coat, that is recessive. So here you see the alleles C, capital C. Capital C, that is the black coat color. And small c, it is for albino, colorless coat. It is recessive gene. And capital A, it is supplementary gene. It brings golden color and black color. When this C, black and capital A, when combines, then agouti comes. That is black on the black coat, the yellow bands appear. That is golden color appears. When these capital C, capital A combine, then we can get the agouti color. So small c is the albino, that is colorless. So here black color, it is dominant over small c. Small c is recessive. Okay, you see this? So in recessive epistasis, that is a pair of gene change the effect of another non-allelic gene. So here in this recessive epistasis, that is mice, the dominant color is here agouti, that is capital C, that is for black color, this allele, and small c, that is albino. So when they cross between colored, that is capital C, small a, that is black color. And next one is the small c, capital A, that is albino. That is albino. So here the small c is for the albino. It is recessive allele. Albino, that is recessive allele. When they made cross between the black and albino, in the F1 generation, they got the agouti mice. So the genotype of agouti mice is capital C, capital A, small a. So when they sell this F1 generation, they got these 16 types of phenotypes, that is in the ratio of the 9:3:4. 9 agouti, 3 black and 4 albino. So in this inheritance, so here capital C, this gene is present in the black mice. Capital C is for the black color, that is present in the black mice. So small c, that is albino, having no color. So it is not present in them. Black hair with yellow bands, that is agouti, that is present in the agouti. So here there must be another gene along with the C in agouti mice. In agouti mice. Separately only, C only not for agouti, capital C only not enough. For getting agouti, that is in agouti mice, there must be another gene with capital C. So if you suppose, let us we think that is capital A. So this capital A is not present in black mice. So when black and albino mice are crossed, so F1, that is we got which agouti. So that means that gene A must came from albino. That is capital C, we crossed between two. What are those two? Capital C, small a, small, that is black color. So here another parent small c, capital A, that is albino, that is colorless. So in F1 generation we got the agouti. What is the agouti character? Black with the golden stripes. So black is from C, that is present in the capital C, black. But agouti, that is golden. Golden stripes, where they come? They came from albino, that is capital A, from albino parent. They got the capital A. So this capital A, that is cause for the, what is golden color. It cause for the golden color. That is, it is supplementary gene. So this capital A, it must to have come from albino mice. So because of this mating, C and A genes together give rise the wild type, that is agouti type. Here the recessive small c do not produce any color, that is, it is albino color. Therefore, here the recessive genes small c show epistatic interaction on other color producing genes. So that's why it is called recessive epistasis. Why we are calling this recessive epistasis? Because here recessive small c do not produce any, do not produce any color. So these recessive genes, that is small c, show epistatic interaction on other color producing genes. So that's why we are calling this recessive epistasis. So the recessive epistasis phenotypic ratio is 9:3:4. So this is the modified ratio of Mendel's 9:3:1. So this is the 9:3:4 ratio, that is the recessive epistasis. And the next one is the complementary gene. Complementary gene, that means two pairs of non-allelic genes are essential in dominant form of to produce a particular character. Sir, producing a particular character, two pairs of non-allelic genes are essential. Two pairs of non-allelic genes are essential to produce a particular character. So, such genes that act together to produce an effect that neither can produce its effect separately are called complementary genes. So, when these two genes are together act, then only they can produce an effect. Otherwise, if these are separate, they can't produce that effect. Compulsory, these genes are, when they combine together, then only they can produce an effect. Otherwise, they can't. That's why we call these complementary genes. These two genes combinedly produce an effect. Okay, these both types of gene must be present in dominant form. So these two genes are must be present in dominant form. So this is, we can explain taking one example, that is flower color in Lathyrus odoratus. We can explain this, that is complementary genes. Taking example, that is color of the flower in Lathyrus odoratus. So in this plant, purple color is dominant. Purple color is dominant over the white. So two types of flowers are there, purple color and white. So purple is the dominant and white is the recessive. So the alleles, when we see that capital C, capital P, these are the purple color. They cause for the color of the purple. And when the capital C and small p present, it is colorless. That is white. And when the small c, capital P present, that is colorless. So when the small p, small p are present, it is colorless. So when these two genes, that is one is capital C and one is capital P, when both are present, then only when these both are present in dominant form, then only the purple color flowers appears. So these two genes are complementary to each other. So see this Punnett board, that is when they cross between the two plants, one is white flowered plant, the genotype is capital C, small p, and another white flower, both are white but the genotype is changed. One genotype is capital C, small p, another genotype is small c, capital P. So when they cross between these two plants consisting the white color, in F1 generation, they got the red color flowers. They got the red color. So what is the genotype? Capital C, capital P, small p. So in F1 generation, they got the red color flowers. When they selfing this red color flower, that is F1 generation plant, in F2 generation, we got the plants in which ratio? That is 9:7 ratio. 9:7 ratio. 9 plants are the purple color and 7 are the white flower. So here C, that is capital C and capital P, these both are complementary. So capital C is responsible for the production of the precursor, that is compound chromogen. Capital C, that gene is responsible for the production of the chromogen. And next capital P, that is the second gene. It is useful to produce the enzyme. So when these two are present, capital C and capital P, then only the chromogen produces and the enzyme produces, then the purple color occurs. So capital C and capital P are received to synthesis anthocyanin pigment. Due to this anthocyanin, the purple color flowers arise. But the absence of any one gene, then it can't produce the purple color flowers. So for getting the purple color flowers, compulsory capital C and capital P are necessary. So these two genes are called as complementary genes. So in this phenotype, that is what we got in this second 9:7 ratio, that is in second generation, we got the plants in 9:7 ratio, that is 9 are the purple color and 7 are the white color. So to get these phenotypes, two genes are essential, that is capital C and capital P. These two are the complementary to one another. So here capital C is required to produce the chromogen color, that is a precursor, and capital P gene is essential for to produce the enzyme. It changes the chromogen into anthocyanin, purple color. So when these two genes are present, then only the purple color plants arise. Otherwise, if any one is not present, then purple color is not come, only white flowers arises. So these two genes are complementary to each other. Complementary to each other. And next one is the inhibitory genes. Next one is the inhibitory genes. Here, a gene which inhibits the expression of an active allele situated where at a different locus. That gene is called inhibitory gene. Here, the gene which inhibits the expression of another allele. Where the another allele present? At a different locus, not same locus. At a different locus, the allele is present. So when this allele is masked by a gene, then it is called inhibitory gene. That gene which inhibits the expression of another allele, that gene is called inhibitory gene. Here, thus one dominant inhibitory gene prevents the expression of another dominant gene. Here, one is preventing the masking the expression of another gene. So this gene is called as inhibitory gene. So this inhibitory genes we can explain by taking an example, that is in rice plant. There are inhibitory gene we can show with the capital I. That is capital I is the inhibitory gene. So in rice plant, the presence of capital P, it is also one gene. It is capital P is responsible for the producing the purple leaves in rice plant. Capital P, that gene is responsible for the producing the purple leaves, and in that plant capital I gene also present. It is inhibitory gene. So here this I inhibits the expression of P gene. So P gene is what? It is responsible for the purple leaves. So when the I is present, then the purple color it does not comes out. So if a gene I is present, it inhibits the leaf purple color. Then the rice plant, it becomes a normal green color. So here see, when the cross between the two parents, that is consisting the green color and purple color. What is the genotype? Green color, capital A, small p, and purple color, small a, capital P, capital P. So when what happened in the F1 generation, green color leaves are produced. Because here capital I is coming from the first parent. This capital I, what is the capital I? It is inhibitory gene. So it inhibits the expression of what? The purple color, the capital P. So in the F1 generation, we can get only green. If the purple color is masking by capital I, inhibitory gene. So when we selfing this green, that is consisting the genotype capital I, small a, capital P, small p, we can get these phenotypes in 13:3. 13 are green color and 3 are purple color. So 13 green, purple color, when we get the purple color, when the capital I is not present, then only we can get the purple color. So purple color flowers are 3, purple color leaves consisting plants are 3, and 13 are green. So this is about the inhibitory genes. So In this also, the 13:3 ratio modified, which is present in the Mendelian ratio. What is the Mendelian ratio? 9:3:3:1. So it is the modification of that Mendelian ratio. Thank you.